Well, hello, Birmingham Bible Church Worldwide. We'd like to welcome you to another segment of our Winning Wednesday. Yes, from wherever you are watching, either from the United States or other countries, in the comforts of your home while you're on your job, or if you're on vacation, we like to welcome you and thank you for watching us on today. If you are new to watching us and new to this segment, we like to use this time to be able to educate you, to encourage you, to enlighten you on what is going on around the world and in our society and also within ourselves. And so we just ask that you do a couple of things, that you share this on Facebook. We are under BHAM Bible Church, formerly known as the Church of the Way International. We are on YouTube at BHAM BC, on Twitter, TCOWI.org, and on Instagram at BHAM BC. And so we are excited today because we have yet another great topic. I need you to share this with your family, to share this with your friends, because this is something that is not really talked about a lot, but it is very much needed.
And so before we get started, I want to mentally ask you a few questions. Do you have an eye doctor? Do your children have an eye doctor? Of course, eye doctor is another word for optometrist. I think at least I grew up with eye doctor. Didn't know what optometrist was until I got older. But today we have a very capable doctor. Her name is Dr. Alexia Vaughn, and I am excited to have her. She is going to introduce herself, but I just want to say a little bit about her. She is the president of Advanced Eye Care. She's been providing excellent care to the Birmingham, Alabama area for over 20 years. She is a part-time professor at the University of Alabama School of Optometry. And I like the fact that she likes to focus on the healthy lifestyle of our eyes and really what it means to take care of our eyes. And so I'm going to introduce you to none other than Miss Alexia Vaughn. Hello, Miss Vaughn.
Hi, how are you?
I'm doing great. How are you?
I am doing awesome.
Good. Thank you once again for joining us on today. If you could just introduce yourself, just tell our audience about you, and then you can go forth in your presentation.
Okay, yes. Thank you. Thank you for having me. One of my missions really is to talk about the health of the eyes, but what a lot of people don't realize is our eyes are attached to our bodies. So we need healthy bodies in order to have healthy eyes. Okay. So like you already said, I'm Dr. Alexia Vaughn. I'm president. I own Advanced Eye Care. I've been doing this for about 16 years now. I teach at UAB, and that was also where I went to school also. My practice, we focus on a healthy focus and especially diabetes. So diabetes, Alabama has really, really high cases of diabetes. And because our cases are so high, when diabetes is uncontrolled, diabetes can lead to blindness. Okay. So one of my missions is in order to prevent blindness from diabetes, we have to control and manage diabetes. And even one step in the prevention, and then we have to not we don't want to be diagnosed with diabetes. Okay, but even if someone is, it's something that's controllable. We just need the education and the self-management and able to do that.
Awesome.
Yes. So there are there are 3 points that I would really like to make regarding diabetes. Okay. Number one is, so say if you are diagnosed with diabetes, even if you're diagnosed with pre-diabetes, your primary care physician will send you for an eye exam. So they'll send you for an eye exam because even before the official diagnosis of diabetes, sometimes we can already see like bleeding inside the eyes and changes inside the eyes before someone is even diagnosed with diabetes. So that's why when you get the diagnosis, immediately your primary care physician will say, hey, you need to get an eye exam. Even with pre-diabetes, we need to make sure to get an eye exam. So initially what it does, so some people, like their vision just may be blurry. They may say, you know what, I woke up one day, my vision was blurry, I just can't see. So a lot of times that is what will bring people into my office. They'll say, hey, I put on my glasses this morning and I still cannot see. So that is one indication. Vision changes, blurry. So then, a lot of times if that's the case, because adults shouldn't have huge changes in glasses prescription. If that's the case, we'll say, hey, we need to go to a primary care physician, have lab work done, make sure all of the blood sugars, make sure all of that is normal. Now, there are also some cases that the vision may not be blurry. Okay. And sometimes we can see like little hemorrhages inside the eyes. So that's why it's important to get a dilated eye exam every year. You will not know that you have the hemorrhages. So that's something when we dilate the pupil, I'm looking inside the eyes, in the retina, in the back of the eyes to make sure there's no bleeding back there. There's no other part that's leaking. And I'm also checking on the health of the blood vessels. Okay. Now, two other points also, okay? So in order to, we want to maintain a healthy lifestyle, healthy bodies, healthy eyes, okay? So a lot of times, pre-diabetes, diabetes, your primary care physician may say, hey, you need to eat right and lose weight. But what does that look like? So a lot of people come to me and they say, well, they told me to eat right, lose weight. They gave me all this information, but it's really hard to put together all of the information. Okay. So what we want to do is I talk to people about two items that are the most important. Number one is called the plate method. So every time we're eating, we should set our plates up a certain way. Half of the plate should be non-starchy vegetables. Okay. So like our greens, we got squash, zucchini, that should take up half of the plate instead of the meat taking up half of the plate. Okay. So a lot of times we get half a chicken sitting on half of our plate. Okay. So we want to reverse our thinking on that. We want vegetables taking up half of the plate. 1/4 of the plate can be non-starchy vegetables. Okay. So say you want like a sweet potato that's not, slathered in butter because we want to decrease, our those types of fats. 1/4 of the plate should be a lean protein. Say we're going to do fish, we're going to do seafood, a lean pork, chicken, things that are lean. Okay. The other point that will help us a lot is we just have to make sure we're getting enough exercise per week. The recommendation is 150 minutes of exercise every week. We want to be moderate to vigorous. So we don't want to just, be out with a casual stroll, smelling the flowers. That's great. But we want our heart rate up, moderate. Like, we want to break a sweat while we're out here, walking, cycling, whatever you like to do. It doesn't matter what it is. We just got to get in those 150 minutes. When you break it down, 5 days, that's only 30 minutes. Okay. So those two things can help a lot when it comes to body health. Okay. The last point 3, is we just have to make sure if you have been diagnosed with diabetes and pre-diabetes, just to have that eye exam every year. Okay. So small changes inside the eyes, we really need to dilate those pupils, look inside so we can make sure, because we want to make sure if we are seeing signs early, we want to do something. So we'll talk to the primary care physician, we'll talk to your endocrinologist, and we'll say, hey, we got to do something because the diabetes is not being controlled like it should. Okay. So when we start seeing eye signs, that means we're seeing signs in other parts of the body too. So the eyes and the kidneys go together. If we're seeing signs in the eyes, then more than likely there's problems with the kidneys also. Okay. So those 3 things can just really have a huge, huge impact on eye health.
And Dr. Vaughn, it's funny you say that about the diet, because those of you who are not new to our Winter Wednesdays, we've had other speakers that have said the exact same thing. Just have a plate with veggies and 1/4 of protein, fish and chicken, preferably not so much beef all the time, just a couple times a month. So, and even the exercise, that's another thing. And so I hope our viewers realize how important all of these things are together. We don't just have Winter Wednesdays to be just having them. We want to really educate people that listen, if you eat right, if you exercise vigorously and not walk through the tulips smelling flowers, if you break a sweat, then that's going to help your overall health. Of course, mental health, but your physical health and everything that's tied to that.
Exactly. So the exercise is really, really important. And especially, like you said, overall health, cardiovascular, you want to keep your heart strong. Your heart has to pump blood to all parts of your body. So we want to keep the heart strong. You made a really, really good point about mental health too. Exercise can help the mental health. Stressed out, go exercise. People at work getting on your nerves, go exercise. It'll calm you back down.
Yeah. And I did not know that diabetes and kidney function go together. I didn't know that.
Yes, yes. So they're considered what's called microvascular. So they're the smaller vessels that's inside the eyes, that's inside the body. So the microvascular complications from diabetes, so it will be eyes and kidneys. Now, one thing too that is quite interesting that I've learned over the past few years is exactly what's going on in the body even before the diagnosis. So we'll have macro, like the bigger vessels will be affected also. So we know that like diabetes causes an increase in heart attacks, in the rate of stroke. So we really just want to, the healthy eating, the healthy lifestyle, working out to try to prevent those further complications.
And I didn't know you made a point about how as soon as you're diagnosed with pre-diabetes or diabetes, how we need to immediately go see an optometrist. And I have never heard that. So can you speak to especially our parents? Because I know a couple whose children have been diagnosed with pre-diabetes. Can you once again just kind of reiterate the point, even if your physician does not offer it, just being proactive in our health, I guess is what I'm trying to say.
Yes, yes. That is crucial to be proactive and not rely on anybody else. Okay. So that's why the education and the self-management is very, very important. Yes. So even if for children, adults, like no matter what the age is, with that diagnosis, even pre-diabetes, you really want to ask your doctor, come up with a plan with your doctor. Say, hey, what do I need to be doing? How can I prevent from converting to diabetes? So you really want to develop that plan earlier, because when diabetes is controlled earlier, and then we can try to prevent complications, because it's going to be a lifelong, it's a lifelong disease that we have to deal with. So we want to try to prevent complications later. So we want that control earlier. Yes. So even if, a lot of times, doctors are, going through the day, and may say, wait, did I talk about this? Did I not talk about this? Okay. So we just want to make sure, stop and say, hey, what am I going to do? What do I need to do? If they say, hey, lose weight and exercise, specifically ask, what do I need to do? Specifically, what do I need to do this? A lot of people get caught up on fad diets. Oh, well, I started doing this, I started doing that, but you'll get short-term results. But we got to be in this for lifelong. Yeah, this is long term. We need something that we can maintain every day for the rest of our lives.
And I know that's great. Can you talk about for those who don't have diabetes? And so when you were talking, and I was thinking about myself, and so and just talk about how important it is to know your family history when it comes to eye care. I don't have diabetes, but my eye doctor, she saw something in the exam and was talking about glaucoma or whatever. And I said, well, I said, well, my mom, who's in her 70s, she has glaucoma. So immediately she said, you know what, let's do a glaucoma screening on you a little early. So can you talk about the importance of really knowing your family history? So even if, you don't have diabetes, those other things, the glaucoma, cataracts, or whatever it is, can you shed some light on that too?
Yes, yes. So family history is very, very important. So one thing too is, so like you were talking about your mom, when we have a first degree relative, parents, even closer, if a sibling has, say, been diagnosed with an eye disease, then it increases your risk. So in my mind, that changes what I'm doing for you. Okay, so that means, okay, now your risk is higher because genetically you're predisposed to, may have problems from, say, glaucoma or other eye diseases. Yes. So it's important to, even if people say, but I see fine, it's still important to have an eye exam every year to get it checked out because we're also establishing your baseline. Okay. So, like when you went, when you went to the eye doctor, basically we're establishing your baseline, and then they're going to do certain tests on you for glaucoma because glaucoma affects the optic nerve. So we really want to know, what does your optic nerve look like now? When we see you next year, we're making the comparison. Is it still the same? So we're collecting data. So that's how we know if you've had changes or not. But yes, a lot of times we don't talk about our family history. But people will say, my grandma, she had to use drop, but I don't know why she used them. Or my grandma was blind in one eye, and I don't know why she was blind. But it's important to say, hey, why can't you see out of that eye? If it's a inherited disease, we need to know about it so we can take some precautions. But yes, that is a really, really good point.
And so I need everybody, it's July the 4th, holiday. So while y'all around the grill, need y'all to ask your family some questions about what runs in your family. Y'all need to have a conversation.
Yes, yes. And that's really going to, that really, I mean, it helps you also, but it really helps us establish a risk factor. It helps me establish your profile.
Right. Okay. And then it's summertime, and so it's hot, it's hot early here in Alabama. And so should we, as we're going out, I typically don't go outside and put on my sunglasses. I'll wait till I get in my car or whatever while I'm driving. But should we be, if we're outside, should we make a point to wear sunglasses? Like what should we do? Say somebody's normal, don't have diabetes, no family history. What can we do to protect our eyes in general?
Okay, so the sunglasses, that's huge. And it does not have to be, Oakley's spending a lot of money sunglasses. That's totally personal preference. We just want 100% UV protection. We want to protect our eyes. Of course, like we want to protect our skin. We got to put on sunscreen. We Sunglasses like sunscreen for your eyes. We got to protect our eyes from UV light. UV light causes cataracts and other eye diseases to develop quicker. So we definitely, even if it's overcast, put on the sunglasses. If people say the sun's not out, it doesn't matter. UV light is still out. Put on sunglasses. But the other thing that we can do to help with the sunglasses, it all goes back to what we eat also, because those pigments from like greens, dark vegetables, it helps to filter. So the sun damages cells. So those antioxidants in vegetables and fruits that we eat, they come through and they try to clean up those cells. So if you don't have any antioxidants, those cells can't get repaired. Okay. So the sunglasses and the eating right, it all goes hand in hand.
Okay, awesome. Well, thank you, Dr. Alexia. Is there anything else you want to add to this? And then, and what we'll do is we'll have a few announcements for our viewers. And then when we come back from those announcements, I want you to tell us how we can contact you at your practice. But anything you want to add regarding eye care, vision, anything?
Okay. I just want to emphasize our main point: healthy body, healthy eyes. We want to eat right, exercise, go see your eye doctor, do those preventive measures so that we don't have to come back through. And, prevention is better than cure. I mean, it's with the eyes too, it's all over the body, it's with the eyes also.
Awesome. Thank
Yes.
you, Dr. Vaughn. Well, we'll have a few announcements and then I want you to come back at the end. Don't go anywhere. And
Okay.
and then we'll let's see, we can see how people can contact you. Um, so everyone, of course, you are watching another segment of our Winning Wednesday. Don't forget, this is the year 2021, and our theme for our church family is reconstruction. So we are believing that God is going to reconstruct everything in your life, including your eyesight. And so don't forget, you can watch us streaming live on YouTube, on Facebook, on Twitter, and on Instagram. You also have a church app called My Sunday app. Go to your app store, download My Sunday, which is one word, and then you can locate Birmingham Bible Church and you get all the announcements and all the notifications of how you can stay informed of what's going on at BBC. And then if you want to receive text messages, text the word BBCWW to this number, 94253. So text BBCWW to 94253, and you can stay informed as well. And then for everyone who has a business, including you, Dr. Vaughn, we have a free business directory on our church's website. All you have to do is go to our website, which is bhambc.org, scroll to the bottom, locate business directory, click on that tab, and then you can input your business for free. So you're not only on our church's website directory, but you're also into a Christian national database. And so there's over 50,000 people in there. So somebody could be in California and say, hey, my mama needs an eye doctor and she lives in Birmingham. Let me see who's good and reputable. Oh, I see Dr. Vaughn's. so you can do that as well. So it's a great way to get your business out there. And so, of course, we have a new series that's coming up with our small groups. It is called Taming Your Tongue. Some notifications have gone forth, and we're going to continue to do that as well. But just learning how to tame that thing in your mouth that seems to can get us in a whole lot of trouble. So that's going to be our small group. We'll have more information on that later. And our prayer room is every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 6 a.m. That number is 515-604-9324, and the access code is 381179. For those of you who receive our newsletters, you should receive one on today. So in that newsletter, we have a lot of information about what's going on in the month of July. Of course, make sure you are looking at that. Also, either you received it last week, but just continue to check your email and check your junk file as well. And then thank you so much for how all of you continue to donate to our Compassion International children. We have 11 children that we sponsor over in Haiti. So thank you so much for that. It is because of your donations that we are able to provide food, medical supplies, emotional needs, educational needs, and physical growth. So that's all we have. However, don't forget, y'all, you can always go back and look at our Facebook page. If you've missed any segments, please feel free to go back and watch all of the ones that we've had. Some great information has gone forth. So there's no reason why we should not be informed or educated. So as always, have an awesome week. Well, Dr. Vaughn, I just want to say thank you so much for this great information. This was some things that I really did not know. And I had one more question. How often should people go to the eye doctor? I know, I'm thinking once a year, but then of course, if you have something more serious, it probably should be more often. But can you talk about that before we close?
Yes, we should just have an eye exam every year. Even if someone says, I don't wear glasses, I see great, it's more to an eye exam than just glasses or contact lenses. We're checking out the health of the eyes, especially with a lot of the diseases that we have, blood pressure, heart disease, diabetes, it all affects the eye. So we just want to make sure that everything looks good so that we can prevent blindness.
Awesome. Thank you. And tell us how we can reach you for an appointment.
Okay, yes. The name of my practice is Advanced Eye Care. You can call or you can text our line. It's 205-942-7740. You can also find us online at www.advancedicare.com. We're on Facebook and Instagram also at Advanced Eye Care.
Thank you so much. Thank you
Thank
so much
you.
for all of this. And we pray that you have just a lot of customers coming on in, but this was just great information. Thank you for giving up your time. Thank you to your assistants who I was keeping in contact with. Please thank Ms. Rhonda for me and all those who take a part in making sure you get this valuable information out there. And so we look forward to working with you in the future.
Okay, yes. Thank you for having me.
Sam, thank you so much. Have a great day, Dr. Vaughn.
Okay. Thank you. You too.
Bye-bye.